A man who cannot be cut, cannot be shot, and cannot be stopped. Just got hit with a power that absorbed an entire monster and stacked 4 abilities at once. And Wang Yang is standing there with no shield, no backup, and one impossible question left. How do you kill something that just ate the final boss? 10 days ago, a rock fell from the sky and ended the world as anyone knew it. Not slowly, not with warning. One meteorite, one impact, and then the white fog came, spreading fast, eating through cities, collapsing everything humanity had spent thousands of years building. Living space gone, food gone, safety gone, the rules of civilization gone along with all of it. But for one man standing inside a convenience store, the apocalypse was the best thing that ever happened to him. Wang Yang, store owner, nobody special, just a guy who stocked shelves for a living, felt something click inside him the moment the fog rolled in. A system, bonded directly to him. And the first thing it told him changed everything. 100 times return on any resources stored. He had a store full of food. He had already put everything in his space inventory before the fog reached his building. And now the system was telling him that every single item he stored would come back to him multiplied 100 times over. He stared at a single packet of green tea. Even that counted. The laugh that came out of him probably echoed through 3 floors of a dying building. But here is the thing. The system did not just hand him unlimited food and call it a day. It had requirements, conditions. And the first condition was women. Specifically, beautiful women who rated 9 points or higher by the system's own internal grading. The more women who joined him, the more the system activated, the more power he gained access to. Most men in that situation would feel embarrassed about it. Wang Yang looked at his system notification and thought, I need to start recruiting immediately. He started scanning faces in the building. Most people were panicking, crying, screaming, fighting each other over canned food. And then his system locked onto someone. Tan Shuya, age 22. Overall rating, 9 points. System requirement met. Our guy looked at her and thought, high university material, great body, feisty energy. He walked toward her. She was standing near a ledge on the 25th floor. The city below was a disaster. People were fighting in the streets. The fog was rolling between buildings like something alive. And Shuya, proud and furious and refusing to beg anyone for anything, was staring down at it all. Wang Yang strolled up next to her like he owned the floor. Hey, gorgeous. Need some help? I've got food. She turned to look at him with the energy of someone who had already decided today was the worst day of her life and was not interested in making it worse. I'd rather die. He shrugged. Jump off right here then. She blinked. That was not the response she expected. Got any instant noodles? She tried again, different angle. I'll pay you. He smiled. I don't want money. I just want you. Come over here. Call me daddy. The look on her face could have curdled milk. She told him she would gouge his eyes out. She called him a pervert. She screamed. And Wang Yang just stood there, completely unbothered, watching her like she was a math problem he had already solved. Because here is the thing. She was starving. The apocalypse had been going on for 10 days. And he had food. Unlimited food. Multiplied 100 times over. She was going to come inside eventually. He just had to wait. He went back to his space and posted a public recruitment message on whatever remained of social media. Beauties wanted, room and board included, send a full body selfie to apply. The comments roasted him. People called him disgusting. People told him they hoped he got eaten by a mutant. He read the comments and posted the message again. Meanwhile, Shuya was alone on that ledge with an empty stomach and a very stubborn pride. And pride. The apocalypse is real fast at burning that down. She came inside. He checked her for weapons. She had none. Then he laid out the deal. Food was on the table. Literally. She could see it, smell it. All she had to do was say 2 words. She refused for what the story calls half an hour of training. Screaming, threatening, crying, pacing, the full range. And then, quietly, furiously, with every muscle in her face resisting it, she said it. He slid the food across the table with the calm of a man who had known this was going to happen all along. She ate. He watched. And somewhere in that moment, the first member of Wang Yang's future empire just sat down at his table. But here is where things get really interesting, because Shuya was not just a recruited beauty. She had been growing plants in the building. Specific plants. And the moment she found out Wang Yang had looked at them, touched them, even noticed them, she went from 0 to furious in under a second. Give me back my plant. He had no idea why anyone would care about a plant in the middle of an apocalypse. He looked at it more carefully. The fruit growing on it had swirl patterns. Lotus energy radiating off it in visible waves. Something was clearly wrong, or right, about this thing. His detection ability locked on. Double fruit. Two separate power types fused into one. The kind of thing that did not just feed you. The kind of thing that changed you. Wang Yang ate one. System notification, 200 fruits returned. He ate 180 of them. Fire ability unlocked. Strength upgraded. Detection ability upgraded. All at level 3. And he still had 20 left, saved specifically because he already knew. More women meant more system activations meant more returns. Shuya, forced to eat one first as a test, gained wind powers, and had absolutely no idea what to do with that information yet. Wang Yang looked at the remaining 20 fruits, looked at the building full of starving survivors, and started making plans. And somewhere across the fog-covered city, other people were also making plans. Darker ones. Meanwhile, in a different part of the building, a man named Lu was running calculations of his own. Lu had heard about ability users. Had heard there was a system holder in the building. Had men, had weapons, had resources, and had absolutely no intention of sharing power with anyone he could not control. He had already begun recruiting superpowered soldiers. Already begun mapping out who the threats were. And one name kept coming up. Wang Yang. Lu filed that name away and went back to sharpening his plans. Back at Wang Yang's floor, the next test came walking through the door, except this one came with backup. Wang Yang's cousin, Shui, knocked on his door wanting food. Politely at first. The more the better, she said. Her boys and her girl were all at her place, she said. She needed help. The story hits you with the backstory right there. 5 years ago, Shui killed Wang Yang's father in a drunk driving accident. His mother was guilt-tripped by the family into not pressing charges. Not one consequence. Not one apology that meant anything. And now here she was, smiling, asking for food like they were family. Wang Yang told her he would bring the food himself. He walked in on Shui's boyfriend, Wang Yang, immediately hitting on Wang Yang's women. Right in front of him. Not even embarrassed about it. I haven't hit on yours yet, and you're hitting on mine right in front of me, Wang Yang said. You've got some nerve. Wang Yang squared up. Called Wang Yang a loser. Called his boys in. And that was the exact wrong decision. Wang Yang hit Wang Yang so hard that his hand broke on impact. The crew rushed in and bounced off Wang Yang like they had run into a concrete wall. Blades bent. Bullets failed. The man stood in the middle of it looking faintly annoyed. Wang Yang's own girlfriend immediately walked over to Wang Yang's side and said she would go with him instead. The apocalypse is fast at burning down loyalty, too. And then Wang Yang turned to his cousin. Shui tried everything. Teleportation, she had powers too, turns out. She attacked. She dodged. She tried to stab him. Nothing touched him. Asking one last time, he said, "Will you come with me?" She begged. Said she was wrong. Said she did not want to die. He told her, "If you don't die, I won't be able to sleep." She died. There was no ceremony for it. No dramatic pause in the world. The man who killed his father never faced consequences. And now, 5 years later, the person responsible for that did. Wang Yang did not celebrate. He just moved forward. Because the apocalypse was still going, the food still needed distributing, and the system was still waiting for more recruits. And he was just getting started. The building was a mess. No leadership, no food distribution, no plan. People hoarding, fighting, some starving 2 floors above a man with infinite supplies. Wang Yang looked at all of it and decided it was inefficient. Then Lei Bao broke into his floor and tried to ruin everything. Lei Bao, local mob boss, notorious enough that people knew his name before the apocalypse, had a technique. He had a powerful drug. One shot. Target goes unconscious, no resistance. He had used it dozens of times. Never failed. He used it on Cha-Cha, one of Wang Yang's girls, dragged her out, posted guards at the door, and went to do whatever local mob bosses did when they thought no one could stop them. Wang Yang showed up. He did not kick the door in dramatically. He did not announce himself. He just appeared, and the moment he did, Lei Bao's men felt the temperature in the room change. "You dare touch my people." Lei Bao tried to play it tough. Wang Yang broke the first man's hand before the sentence finished. The second man backed up. The third man looked at the door. Lei Bao stood there with the sudden and very clear realization that he had made a catastrophic miscalculation. "Want to live or die?" Wang Yang asked him. "Live." "Obviously. Then you're my man now." Just like that. No drawn-out negotiation. No dramatic ultimatum with a countdown. One question, one answer, and Lei Bao, mob boss, feared by everyone in 3 neighborhoods, became Wang Yang's head of operations. And honestly, Lei Bao adapted fast. Wang Yang immediately started building. He connected the top 4 floors of the building into a single zone. 2 doors only, controlled entry, controlled exit. Supply warehouse established. Armory kept separate. Rooftop farming started the same day, crops planted, self-sufficiency the long-term goal. Food distribution centralized so no one on his floors was starving. He told Lei Bao to scout for women. Told him to come to Wang Yang personally if anyone caused trouble. Told him to take a head count and get organized. Lei Bao took notes like a man who had found the boss he had always been looking for. Meanwhile, the system kept returning resources. Wang Yang kept distributing power fruits selectively. Only to women who earned them. Only when the system required it. Only in amounts that maximized his own leveling. He was not generous. He was strategic. And the difference mattered. Elsewhere, a woman named Officer Shu was trapped in her office building by a mutant rat. Not a normal rat. A level 2 mutant. Thundertail ability. One strike causes a lightning explosion. Fast, aggressive, and large enough that an office building full of people could not get past it. Shu called Wang Yang. He said he was coming. By the time he arrived, a wealthy man named Lan had also shown up with armed guards, guns, weapons, private security, the works. Lan had the energy of someone who had never been told he was wrong about anything and was not prepared to start hearing it now. As for saving her, Lan told Wang Yang, "I'll handle it. It's dangerous outside. Just go home." Wang Yang looked at the guns, looked at the armed guards, looked at the lobby where the rat was definitely still alive. Then he said the thing that Lan had no answer for. "Since you got here, did you hear any shots?" Silence. "That's obviously because my men already killed it," Lan said. "It has to be." He called for his guards to come confirm it. Nobody moved. His elite veterans stood very still and looked at the floor. Lan walked toward the lobby. He got close to the entrance. And then the mutant rat appeared. Enormous, crackling with electricity, tail sparking like a live wire. And Lan screamed so loud that it probably registered on whatever was left of the city's seismic equipment. Wang Yang stepped past him. His detection ability had already mapped the entire creature. Level 2 beast, Thundertail strike. The weakness was the tail itself. Cut it off, and the rat lost its balance, lost most of its combat power. The whole fight was already solved before it started. He walked toward the rat. Lan watched from the entrance, jaw on the floor. The rat struck, Thundertail, full power, lightning explosion. Wang Yang took the hit directly. Didn't move. Didn't flinch. Looked at the rat like it had just politely tapped him on the shoulder. Then he cut the tail. The rat collapsed. The fight was over. Lan's guards, armed veterans with actual weapons, stood there having contributed exactly nothing. "That rat's holding back," one of Wang Yang's girls whispered to another. "Stop showing off your ignorance," the other replied. "His power is beyond your imagination." Officer Shu watched from the upper floor. So did Yajia, a woman with her own electric-type power fruit who had also been trapped in the building waiting for rescue. She watched Wang Yang walk out of that lobby looking like he had just handled a minor inconvenience. She had made her decision before he reached the staircase. Lan tried to save face on the way out. Wang Yang did not even look at him. Shu joined the group. Yajia joined the group. The system kept expanding. Wang Yang kept leveling. But the quiet could not last. An internal trade post appeared on the 15th floor, run by old Leo, a former scavenger with more connections than anyone expected. Wang Yang went to check it out. And old Leo had weapons. Real ones. Enough firepower to change the balance of any fight in the building. Wang Yang traded food for everything Leo had. Walked out with a stockpile that turned his operation from a survival group into something that looked very much like a small army. Then the door opened, and Mao walked in. One of Wang Yang's scouts had found her on the road and brought her back. She was introduced as a survival expert. She was beautiful. She was confident. Wang Yang's detection ability activated the moment she stepped into the room, and it told him everything. Lu had kidnapped Mao's parents, was holding them hostage, had sent Mao specifically to earn Wang Yang's trust and poison his power fruits. Wang Yang looked at her, smiled, told her she was welcome to stay. He said nothing else. I bet you didn't see that coming, but Wang Yang had already set the trap. He just needed Mao to walk into it herself. He gave her food. He gave her a room. He acted like a man who had no idea what she was really there for. And on Lu's side of the city, Lu received a message from Mao saying she had earned the target's trust. The plan was on track. Lu smiled and told his men to prepare the assassination squad. He had 5 supers ready. Shadow, his most dangerous operative, and 10 armed guards. Tonight, Wang Yang would die in his sleep. But across the building, Wang Yang was not sleeping. He was waiting. Wang Yang waited one full day before he made his move. He sat Mao down, not aggressively, not with a knife on the table or guards at the door. He just sat across from her, calm as a man discussing the weather, and started talking about her parents. Mao froze. How do you know about my parents? He told her what his detection ability had shown him. Lu's operation, the kidnapping, the 3-mission deal, the promises Lu had made. Complete the missions, your family gets released, they miss you, they sent you meat, just a little longer. Mao had believed every word. He won't lie to me, she said. He said he'd reunite my family. Wang Yang looked at her. Go find out for yourself. I'll wait. She snuck out. She found binoculars. She located the floor where her parents had supposedly been kept, the room Lu had described, the place she had held in her mind every night to remind herself why she was doing this. The room was empty. Not abandoned. Not recently evacuated. Empty. Like no one had been there in a long time. She stood there with binoculars pressed against her face and felt the bottom fall out of everything she had built her survival around. Her parents were not waiting for her. Lu had already done whatever he was going to do to them, and she had been killing people and gathering intel for a man who had eaten her family the same way the mutants were eating the city. She went back to Wang Yang. He did not say he told her so. He did not push her for information. He just waited while she processed it. And then quietly, firmly, he told her what came next. Do you want revenge? She did. Call me daddy. Even in grief, even with everything burning inside her, she looked at him with absolute disbelief at that specific requirement. He looked back at her with absolute sincerity. She said it. He handed her 4 power fruits. 4. The kind Lu had been rationing and hoarding and using as leverage over people for months. Wang Yang handed them over like he was passing the salt. System return. Mao consumes 4 fruits. 2,400 fruits returned. Wang Yang leveled multiple abilities simultaneously. He leveled up 2 more of his women using the returned fruits. He told everyone the plan. Because Lu was coming tonight. Shadow was coming. 10 armed guards were coming. And Wang Yang wanted every single one of them to walk into a building where the welcome mat was made of prepared fighters with multiple power types. The trap was set. The bait had already been reeled in. And Lu, sitting across the city, had no idea his weapon had just changed hands. On Lu's side, the assassination order went out. Shadow briefed the squad. 6 supers total, including himself. 10 armed men. Shadow's ability. His shadow detached from his body, moved independently, could infiltrate any location within a 1-kilometer range. He could see through it, communicate through it, move it through walls and doors. Wang Yang's just a rookie, someone said. What's there to worry about? Shadow said nothing. He had heard stories. But orders were orders. On my command, Lu told them. Attack together. Give him no time to react. The squad moved out. They arrived at Wang Yang's building. Shadow detached his shadow, sent it in first to scout, to unlock doors, to prepare the ambush. The shadow drifted through walls like smoke. It found Wang Yang's floor. It found a man sitting calmly in the center of the room like he had been expecting company. And it found, positioned around the room in specific spots, every one of Wang Yang's powered women. Xia, Mao, the others, standing completely still. Waiting. The squad breached anyway. What else were they going to do? Go back to Lu and say the target looked ready. The fight started instantly. Wang Yang took the main group alone. Multiple level 2 supers hitting him from every angle with coordinated attacks. Fire. Force. Physical strikes. He absorbed all of it, moved through them like weather, and started hitting back with an efficiency that made the whole thing feel less like a battle and more like a demonstration. Mao fought with everything the 4 fruits had given her. Furious, precise, relentless. She was not fighting for survival. She was fighting for her parents. And the difference in energy was visible. Shadow tried to end it. His blood shadow illusion technique, his signature move, his guaranteed kill, hit Wang Yang's defense and disappeared. Wang Yang looked at where it had landed. That was a perfect tickle. Shadow had nothing left. Wang Yang moved through the rest of them. The squad captain, the last one standing, gave up every piece of information he had in exchange for the promise of being allowed to leave. Wang Yang let him finish talking. Then he ended it anyway. He had said he could leave. He had not said he would live. Every single member of the assassination squad, gone. Shadow's power fruit, the one carried on his body, was recovered. Wang Yang held it and made a note. Do not burn this one yet. And in the quiet after the fight, Mao stood in the middle of the room and felt something she had not felt since before the apocalypse. Safe. From now on, she told Wang Yang, I'm yours. He told her Lu's time was coming soon. She had earned the right to be in the room when it happened. Meanwhile, the city was changing. The white fog, which had been the backdrop to everything since the meteorite, appeared to be thinning. Survivors were noticing it. Wang Yang's people mentioned it to him. Isn't that good news? Isn't that the apocalypse ending? Wang Yang told them the truth. The mutants are getting stronger. The fog has merged with this world. It'll only get more dangerous now. He paused. Maybe some big guys are about to show up. Nobody asked a follow-up question. Nobody wanted to. And somewhere out on the East Coast Road, 5 days away by damaged roads, an old snake was sitting in a vehicle heading toward a mutant, three-headed crocodile, planning to eat it. And yes, it gets worse. Wang Yang waited 1 full day before he made his move. He sat Mao down, not aggressively, not with a knife on the table or guards at the door. He just sat across from her, calm as a man discussing the weather, and started talking about her parents. Mao froze. How do you know about my parents? He told her what his detection ability had shown him. Lu's operation, the kidnapping, the 3-mission deal, the promises Lu had made. Complete the missions, your family gets released, they miss you. They sent you meat, just a little longer. Mao had believed every word. He won't lie to me, she said. He said he'd reunite my family. Wang Yang looked at her. Go find out for yourself. I'll wait. She snuck out. She found binoculars. She located the floor where her parents had supposedly been kept, the room Lu had described, the place she had held in her mind every night to remind herself why she was doing this. The room was empty, not abandoned, not recently evacuated. Empty. Like no one had been there in a long time. She stood there with binoculars pressed against her face and felt the bottom fall out of everything she had built her survival around. Her parents were not waiting for her. Lu had already done whatever he was going to do to them, and she had been killing people and gathering intel for a man who had eaten her family the same way the mutants were eating the city. She went back to Wang Yang. He did not say he told her so. He did not push her for information. He just waited while she processed it. And then quietly, firmly, he told her what came next. Do you want revenge? She did. Call me daddy. Even in grief, even with everything burning inside her, she looked at him with absolute disbelief at that specific requirement. He looked back at her with absolute sincerity. She said it. He handed her 4 power fruits. 4. The kind Lu had been rationing and hoarding and using as leverage over people for months. Wang Yang handed them over like he was passing the salt. System return. Mao consumes 4 fruits. 2,400 fruits returned. Wang Yang leveled multiple abilities simultaneously. He leveled up 2 more of his women using the returned fruits. He told everyone the plan. Because Lu was coming tonight. Shadow was coming. 10 armed guards were coming, and Wang Yang wanted every single one of them to walk into a building where the welcome mat was made of prepared fighters with multiple power types. The trap was set. The bait had already been reeled in, and Lu, sitting across the city, had no idea his weapon had just changed hands. On Lu's side, the assassination order went out. Shadow briefed the squad. 6 supers total, including himself. 10 armed men. Shadow's ability. His shadow detached from his body, moved independently, could infiltrate any location within a 1-kilometer range. He could see through it, communicate through it, move it through walls and doors. Wang Yang's just a rookie, someone said. What's there to worry about? Shadow said nothing. He had heard stories, but orders were orders. On my command, Lu told them. Attack together. Give him no time to react. The squad moved out. They arrived at Wang Yang's building. Shadow detached his shadow, sent it in first to scout, to unlock doors, to prepare the ambush. The shadow drifted through walls like smoke. It found Wang Yang's floor. It found a man sitting calmly in the center of the room like he had been expecting company. And it found, positioned around the room in specific spots, every one of Wang Yang's powered women. Shia, Mao, the others, standing completely still. Waiting. The squad breached anyway. What else were they going to do? Go back to Lu and say the target looked ready. The fight started instantly. Wang Yang took the main group alone, multiple level 2 supers hitting him from every angle with coordinated attacks. Fire, force, physical strikes. He absorbed all of it, moved through them like weather, and started hitting back with an efficiency that made the whole thing feel less like a battle and more like a demonstration. Mao fought with everything the 4 fruits had given her, furious, precise, relentless. She was not fighting for survival. She was fighting for her parents. And the difference in energy was visible. Shadow tried to end it. His blood shadow illusion technique, his signature move, his guaranteed kill, hit Wang Yang's defense and disappeared. Wang Yang looked at where it had landed. That was a perfect tickle. Shadow had nothing left. Wang Yang moved through the rest of them. The squad captain, the last one standing, gave up every piece of information he had in exchange for the promise of being allowed to leave. Wang Yang let him finish talking. Then he ended it anyway. He had said he could leave. He had not said he would live. Every single member of the assassination squad, gone. Shadow's power fruit, the one carried on his body, was recovered. Wang Yang held it and made a note. Do not burn this one yet. And in the quiet after the fight, Mao stood in the middle of the room and felt something she had not felt since before the apocalypse. Safe. From now on, she told Wang Yang, I'm yours. He told her Lu's time was coming soon. She had earned the right to be in the room when it happened. Meanwhile, the city was changing. The white fog, which had been the backdrop to everything since the meteorite, appeared to be thinning. Survivors were noticing it. Wang Yang's people mentioned it to him. Isn't that good news? Isn't that the apocalypse ending? Wang Yang told them the truth. The mutants are getting stronger. The fog has merged with this world. It'll only get more dangerous now. He paused. Maybe some big guys are about to show up. Nobody asked a follow-up question. Nobody wanted to. And somewhere out on the East Coast Road, 5 days away by damaged roads, an old snake was sitting in a vehicle heading toward a mutant, 3-headed crocodile, planning to eat it. And yes, it gets worse. Wang Yang had been thinking about the long game. The building they were in was a resource, but it was not a fortress. Too many entrances. Too many floors he did not control. Too many people he could not account for. And with Lu still operating, with Old Snake coming back from the East Coast with whatever he had absorbed, Wang Yang needed something better. He went scouting alone. He found a prison, abandoned since the fog hit. Heavy walls, reinforced gates, elevated positions, single controlled access points. Easy to defend. extremely hard to attack, large enough to house his entire operation with room to expand. He walked the perimeter, checked every section, mapped it in his head. This place is perfect, he said to no one. Good for the long haul. He was already planning the layout before he got back to brief his team. But the prison was not even the biggest discovery of the day. Near the prison was the site of a military expo, cut off mid-event when the fog hit. Military equipment still on display. Mortars, heavy weapons, vehicles, and one robot dog, sitting completely still in a darkened exhibit hall, waiting for someone to turn the lights back on. Wang Yang stepped into the hall. The robot dog activated. Its eyes lit up. It turned toward him and spoke in a formal, measured tone. Hello, Force Master. Wang Yang stared at it. Your name is Ben, he said. Ben, Master. Hello. A talking robot dog. In an apocalypse. Calling him Force Master. Of all the things the system had returned to him, of all the power fruits and weapons and people, Ben was the moment where Wang Yang's operation officially crossed from impressive into unfair. Ben listed his capabilities without being asked. Combat, mechanical knowledge, underwater operations, probing and scouting. He was an all-purpose unit designed for field operations. And when Wang Yang asked him if he could drive a tank, Ben said he could teach anyone to do it. Wang Yang looked at the tank sitting in the exhibition hall. He looked at Ben. He walked back to his group, told Xiaoling she was now in charge of Ben, and declared that she and her mother were the ultimate tank duo from this point forward. Xiaoling, young, enthusiastic, absolutely unequipped emotionally for the responsibility of operating a military tank, lit up like someone had handed her the best present of her life. I'm a tank soldier now, she announced. If anyone messes with me, I'll blast him. Her mother looked at the tank, looked at her daughter, looked at Wang Yang. She had no words for any of this. But she got in the tank. The move to the prison began. The old building was not abandoned. It was converted. Lei Bao personally directed the trap installation. Lethal traps at every approach. Hidden sentries at every major entrance. Heavy weapons on the sentry positions. Sniper placement identified. Lei Bao's brother Li Hu was a former military sniper. He was brought in, briefed, and stationed at the position with the clearest view over the entire complex. Wang Yang gave him one specific instruction. Do not fire until Old Snake arrives. Do not fire early. Do not give away the position. The moment a shot rang out, the enemy would know they had a sniper. The whole value of the position was surprise. Li Hu understood completely. Wang Yang gave him a wind element tower forge, a combat ability upgrade, as his payment. Then Wang Yang called his entire group together for the final briefing. Lu and Old Snake were coming. This was not a maybe. This was soon. And when they came, here was the plan. Xiaoling drives the tank against the regular forces. Mao's team handles Lu directly. Wang Yang personally takes Old Snake. Everyone else holds their position using the terrain, the traps, and Li Hu's sniper coverage. If you can't win, you have to run, he told them. Even if we all die, you have to survive. You are our only hope. He looked at the woman who said it. He smiled. Silly girl. I'd never abandon you. I'm planning on having you pop out a whole tribe for me. Trust me, I've got this. It was exactly the wrong thing to say, and yet somehow exactly the right thing to say. She stopped panicking. He turned back to the map. The slaughterhouse was ready. All they needed was for Lu to walk into it. On Lu's side of the city, Old Snake had returned. The three-headed crocodile was not alive anymore. Old Snake was, and he was not the same man who had left. The fusion had changed him physically, changed the scale of his power, changed his confidence into something that looked a lot like invincibility. Even a tank couldn't leave a scratch, he told Lu. Lu looked at him. He had no intention of being impressed. He had his own plans for Old Snake, plans that Old Snake was not going to enjoy. But for now, they needed each other. We move tomorrow, Lu said. Pick them off outside first. Weaken his forces. Then hit the compound. The plan was clean. Split Wang Yang's people across multiple ambush points. Hit the supply teams while they were outside. Pin the inside team down. And then walk in with enough power to finish whatever was left. Old Snake cracked his knuckles. His crocodile fusion flexed across his shoulders. Faced with absolute power, he said, resistance is futile. Tomorrow was coming. And Wang Yang was already waiting. Lu heard Old Snake call for him. He was in the middle of his own fight. Mao's team pressing him hard, multiple power types coordinated against him. A battle that was not going the way he had expected. Wang Yang's women were not support. They were not secondary fighters. They were level 2 supers with multiple ability stacks who had been eating power fruits for weeks under the direct guidance of a man whose entire system was built around making other people stronger. But Old Snake was calling, and Lu had a decision to make. He broke away from Mao's team and moved toward Wang Yang's position. Everyone watching, Wang Yang's people, the remaining attackers, even some of Lei Bao's men still holding the outer corridors, saw Lu approach Old Snake from behind. What happened next took 3 seconds. Lu used his devouring ability. He ate Old Snake. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. He absorbed Old Snake. The man, the crocodile fusion, the water arrow capability, the level 2 defense, all of it, directly into himself. Old Snake's power, his mutation, everything he had traveled to the East Coast to gain, gone into Lu's body in an instant. Lu stood up from what remained. Level 4. His defense was now layered. His original abilities stacked on top of Lu's water arrows stacked on top of the 3-headed crocodile fusion. He was faster than before, stronger than before, and his defense had reached a level where even a direct tank round might not scratch him. The room went completely silent. He actually ate him, someone whispered. What kind of power is this? Lu looked at Wang Yang. Looked at him with 4 stacked ability levels and the confidence of a man who had just solved the one problem standing between him and control of the entire region. Now that my power is at level 4, you can't stop me. He attacked. The first strike hit Wang Yang's wind shield and shattered it. Wang Yang looked at where his shield had been. No big deal. He switched to close combat. No shield. Just him, his strength, his fire, his detection. He threw everything at Lu's new composite defense. Nothing got through. Lu's absorb had layered his protection to a point where Wang Yang's direct attacks could not penetrate. Fire dissipated against the water type overlay. Physical strikes hit the crocodile fusion layer and stopped short. Wind attacks had nowhere to anchor. For the first time in the story, Wang Yang was genuinely stuck. His energy was draining. Fire armor required sustained output. The wind shield was gone. He was holding Lu off, but he was not winning. Just how many power fruits did you eat? Lu demanded between exchanges. I cannot break through you, but you cannot break through me either. Wang Yang said nothing. His detection ability was running constantly, scanning every layer of Lu's new composite form, looking for the seam, looking for the weak point, looking for the one thing that had to be there, because everything had a weakness. His detection had never failed to find one. And then, it found something. Deep inside the absorbed mass of the 3-headed crocodile fusion. Inside Lu's abdomen now, carried in with Old Snake when Lu devoured him. A silver needle, thin as wire, embedded in the tissue of the crocodile's original form, transferred whole into Lu's body when the absorption happened. The needle had been there since before Wang Yang's fight with Old Snake. Hidden, undetectable, without a god-tier scanning ability. Wang Yang's detection ability was exactly that. He looked at the precise location. He mapped the angle. He calculated the strike. And he stopped defending entirely. Opened himself up, let Lu come forward for the finishing blow, and in the split second before impact, he drove a precise, single strike directly into the needle's position. Lu stopped. His body seized. The composite defense that had made him untouchable locked. The needle, pressed by the strike, disrupted the fusion from the inside. Like pulling a single thread from a tapestry and watching the whole thing unravel. Lu went down. Wang Yang stood over him breathing hard. When you plot against others, you should expect this. Lu looked up. Please, don't kill me. Wang Yang looked at him. Looked at the man who had kidnapped families. Had eaten Old Snake. Had sent assassins in the night. Had destroyed Mao's parents. Had built an empire on the backs of people he used and discarded. If it weren't for you devouring Old Snake, Wang Yang said, almost to himself, this would have taken more effort. Lu's own betrayal of his ally had been the thing that handed Wang Yang the victory. He ended it. Mao watched from across the room. She had fought Lu's team. She had held her ground. And now she watched the man responsible for everything that had happened to her parents. The man who had used her, manipulated her, threatened her, and taken away the only people she had left. And with a single precise strike from the man, she had almost poisoned. She did not cry. She stood completely still. Wang Yang walked past her toward the exit. Told you that day wasn't far off. She followed him without a word. The ambush hit before dawn. Lu's forces moved in multiple directions simultaneously. Wang Yang's supply teams, out on their final run before the lockdown, ran into armed men in uniforms, all bearing the same snake tattoo on their hands. No warning, no demands, just immediate violence. The teams scattered. Some went down fast. Others fought back. Shia's team was cut off first. She was moving through a sector when Lu's men closed off her route back to the compound. A powered soldier stepped out in front of her, level 2. Confident, looking at her with the kind of smile that men use when they think they have already won. Miss Tang, if you just surrender quietly, I won't make it hard on you. You are so beautiful. It'd be a shame to get hurt. Shia looked at him. Then she fought. She was not the screaming, terrified woman who stood on a ledge 10 days ago refusing to eat. She had wind powers, combat training, and the kind of anger that builds up over days of surviving on the terms of an apocalypse. She went through the level 2 super with the efficiency of someone who had been waiting for something to hit. Dealing with level 2 supers is so easy for you, her opponent said, stunned, collapsing. She was good, but there were too many of them, and the route was blocked. She held her position. She could not get back. She messaged Wang Yang. Xiaoling and her mother were caught in a different sector. Same problem, different direction. They fought through. They were heading back as fast as they could. But fast was not instant. Inside the compound, the regular forces hit the gates. Lei Bao activated the traps. The first wave of attackers found out very quickly what lethal traps felt like when designed by someone who had been preparing for this specific attack for weeks. Mines in the approach corridors. Hidden trip mechanisms on the stairwells. The first 20 men through the gate did not make it to the second corner. They have tanks and traps too. Someone screamed from what remained of the attacking front line. How do we fight? Run. Xiaoling drove the tank directly into the remaining attackers. It was not a subtle maneuver. It was not tactically complex. A 17-year-old girl in a military tank rolling over the opposition with the energy of someone who had been waiting her entire life to do exactly this. Her mother backed her up from the secondary position. The regular forces broke. But that was always only phase 1. Because behind the regular forces, the supers were coming. Thunder Tiger Li Hu was on the roof, at a scope, still not firing. Wang Yang had told him to wait. He waited. The supers breached the compound wall from the east side. 4 of them, coordinated, moving fast. Li Hu tracked them. He still did not fire. The supers hit Lei Bao's people hard. Lei Bao organized a counter, guerrilla tactics, using the terrain, staying mobile. He kept them from pushing all the way through. But it was costly. And then, Old Snake entered the compound. Li Hu fired. One shot. One of the supers dropped. Li Hu moved immediately to his second position before the enemy could triangulate. A counter-sniper came up from the attacking side, trained, moving to find him. They played cat and mouse across 3 floors of sightlines and pre-planned sniper positions. 2 shots later, the enemy sniper was gone. Li Hu moved to position 10 and waited for his next order. The compound was holding, but only because Wang Yang had thought of everything in advance. And now it was time for the main event. Lu and Old Snake walked in through the primary entrance together. Wang Yang was already there. He looked at Old Snake. He looked at the crocodile fusion, the extra mass, the hardened scales across his shoulders, the way the mutation had changed the shape of the man entirely. His detection ability scanned it instantly. Defense, almost impenetrable. Water-type attacks, enhanced. Overall power, massive. Wang Yang told his women to handle Lu. What about you? Mao asked. Go, he said. If you can't win, run. Just survive. She looked at him. Even if we all die, you have to survive. You're our only hope. He smiled at her. Trust me. He turned to face Old Snake. Old Snake came at him like a freight train, confident, powerful, using everything the crocodile fusion had given him. Water arrows fired at point-blank range, each one described as capable of piercing steel. They hit Wang Yang's shield and dissolved. Old Snake's eyes narrowed. Try my fire then, Wang Yang said. Water beats fire, Old Snake told him. I am not afraid of. Wang Yang hit him with superheated fire, not normal flame, but something with a different quality entirely. Heat that went through Old Snake's water defense like it was not there. Hot, hot, hot. Old Snake stumbled backward. I am burning alive. The confidence was gone. The crocodile fusion was not protecting him. And for the first time since he had returned from the East Coast, Old Snake looked at Wang Yang and understood that he had underestimated something fundamental. He called for Lu. He called for Lu. Because that was all he had left.